Hello. I hope everyone is enjoying tonight. I'm a little nervous now that I'm standing up here. um, well, I started attending this church. Excuse me. I have a baby right now, and she's making me burp a lot, so I'm sorry. I started attending this church about roughly a year and a half ago, and in the beginning half, I was really trying to find my path, and it was very difficult because I didn't grow up like this at all. And over the past year, I consistently practiced living the Word of God, and I've seen His blessings and challenges too, especially in the past year to help me grow. Before becoming who I am today, excuse me, I created obstacles and ultimately led myself to a not so good life. I struggled. I created toxic relationships, and the people that I was surrounding myself with were not very good people. So luckily, I found that out. Took a little bit longer than I was hoping. But I struggled to cut out all these negative influences. And because of I thought that they were close connections that I had, and I considered them my family, but really they weren't. And once I began to live consistently, living like Jesus, there was this strength growing, and I was finally able to cut out all those people, and they were out of my life for good. Of course, they try to come back. I'm like, no. But let me tell you about my most recent experience. I think it's kind of funny because honestly, I had no idea what to talk about tonight, and I was really struggling. I'm like, gosh, what am I going to say? This is like in a few days, and I have no idea what to write. So I have this plant, and it's a sage. I don't know if any of you guys know about native plants, but there's all these little clovers, and they're weeds, and they were all just like sprouting around my plant. So I had to take time to take all of this out. And I've been putting off this job for a while too. They've probably been sprouting for the past month. So I spent the first hour, which felt like the whole afternoon, just taking apart all these little clovers. They were small. They weren't like big ones. And the roots were so long too. So, sorry. Getting very enthusiastic. So they were still embedded, and I could tell that there were still roots everywhere. So I decided to uproot my plant. I was saying sorry the entire time because I didn't want to kill it and ruin the roots. And so I'm pulling up this plant. I'm holding it, and all of these tiny weed roots are just like in between my precious plant's roots. I was like, gosh, okay, this is going to take more time. So I spent the time taking apart every single root, and I removed them all. Okay, this took a long time. My back was hurting, my neck was hurting, and lesson learned: don't pot a plant in used soil. Okay, use new soil. Or lesson learned: when starting a new life with Christ, you must completely remove all of the bad influences from your life. You can't leave that one just like straggling along. But yes, I'm creating my new life, but there's still that one person. So just remove everyone. Bad, not the good ones. But yeah, just like, because it might lead you to the wrong path. So just like this weed troubled my mental and physical health, yes. And of course my plant, can't forget about the plant. I would not give up, and I saved that plant. The plant was worth saving, okay? But Galatians 5:22 says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith." And we are here to bring and live this peace. goodness, and love, not bring negativity, self-centeredness, or jealousy. Do not allow the flesh to intertwine with your spiritual roots, okay? Root out the sin, and if you do, you will have the love, the peace, the joy, and you will grow just like how I did.